Okay, we're going to do 3 examples of how to change a decimal to a fraction. We're going to start with terminating decimals. So one example of a terminating decimal would be 0.4. So if I want to make 0.4 into a fraction, 4 becomes my numerator, and I'm going to put it over 10. Notice I have 1 digit as my numerator. I'm going to need 1 0 as my denominator. Of course, I can reduce this, both divisible by 2, so my final answer becomes 2/5. Our second example, we're going to use 0.23. So this is my terminating decimal. I'm going to change into a fraction. I'm going to make 23 my numerator. Since I have 2 digits as my numerator, I'm going to need 2 zeros after the 1 as my denominator. And 23 is a prime number, so I can't reduce that any further. Lastly, I'm going to use 0.246. So 246 is going to become my numerator. And since I have 3 digits as my numerator, I'm going to need 3 zeros after the 1 to make 1,000 my denominator. I can reduce this further. Both are divisible by 2, so my new numerator becomes 123, and my denominator becomes 500. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to make decimals to fractions, but we're going to use 3 repeating decimals. So the first example of a repeating decimal I'm going to use is 0.3. So let's say our 3 is repeating. So it might look something like this. Of course, I can write it in proper notation as 0.3. And since it's the 3 that's repeating, I put the 1 line over the 3. Now to make this into a fraction, I'm going to take the numbers that repeat. So 3 is what repeats. And as my denominator now, I'm going to use a 9. So since 1 digit repeats, I'm going to have 1 9 as my denominator. And this, of course, I can reduce to 1/3. My second example is going to have 2 digits repeating. So let's say 0.232323. So here is my number that repeats. I can write that using proper notation as 0.23. Since 23 is what repeats, the line goes over both digits. And now to make this into a fraction, my numerator are going to be the digits that repeat, 23, and my denominator is going to be however many digits repeat, I need that many 9s as my denominator. So since 2 digits repeat, I need 2 9s in my denominator. And I can't reduce this one any further. For our last example, we're going to use 3 digits. So let's say I have 3 digits that repeat. Of course, I can write this using proper notation, putting the line over all 3 digits that repeat. And now to write this as a fraction, 123, those are the 3 digits that repeat, become my numerator. And since I have 3 digits that are repeating, I need 3 9s in my denominator. This I can reduce further because both are divisible by 3, and my new fraction becomes 41/333.